And at my age, someone recently taught me how to fix that. Lay your like I guess what big boobs girls do. How you put in a, or you just pull them up.
I know this chick with little boobs, and it looks like she has the biggest breast every time I see her.
Why? How?
They have bras for that.
Bras.
Yeah, really good bras.
Yep. I'm down sometimes to pay $40 for a good bra.
Me too. Okay, my husband is fighting with me on a text. Just parent our kid. You're at home. Do it. Figure it out.
Why is it that it's 1 minute till showtime and I now have to pee?
Go pee. I can handle the first minute.
It's okay. So a while back, I downloaded Windows 10 technical preview.
Yeah.
And it updated like last time we were here, but it finished today.
You're listening to iCannabisRadio.com.
Hi, welcome. We're on the air. It is June 1st, and you're listening to Georgia.
And Jeremy.
On Happy Mondays on iCannabis Radio. Hi.
Hello.
You know, I want to start the show and just say we are thinking about our producer, Gabe, whose mother passed away far too soon. And we miss you, and we are thinking about you and sending you and your family tons of love and support.
Amen.
Yeah. Wish she was here. It's been a while. I feel like we've had a very disjointed May, and so hopefully June is kind of back on track.
It really has been.
A mundane May.
Monday.
Yeah, that's
yes.
That could just be known now here as mundane May for this past one, and we'll just leave it in the past.
Yeah.
Because it's been rainy. Like my grandmother passed. Gabe's
so
mother
sorry.
passed. Like it's been a rough, weird, trying, challenging May for many people.
And good thing it's over.
Thank God.
I've been to 3 funeral services or memorials or whatever in 2015 already. Just weird.
Well, and that's the kicker, you know, the older we get, the more it's going to happen.
The older we get.
And that part sucks. I don't really have anything else to add to that because that's pretty much it. That's just one of those shitty things that doesn't have a follow-up funny remark or nothing like that.
So what do you think about the afterlife?
You know, that's weird. I was talking to my counselor about that today, and I used to have all these different thoughts, and over the last, couple of years since the accident, I've really put them all out there to test their validity in my own mind and in real world practicalities. And, the one that I've chosen, I grew up Catholic. So it's like I'm playing this game right now called Dante's Inferno, which is based on the book, wrote almost 1,000 years ago, and it's a very scary game. But my thoughts of the afterlife are that right now, currently, I believe that when we die, we're dead. And that's it. Like this is what we get right here.
Once, twice, 50 times?
Well, I used to think that we'd get reincarnated, and that made tons of sense to me. And it's like, oh, we keep coming back, and you come back as this or you evolve as that. Okay, well, then I learned about all the other planets in the galaxy, and then I saw the Hubble Deep Field picture of all the other galaxies, and then I learned that if every galaxy only has one life-bearing planet, which would be really silly given how little our solar system is in our giant galaxy, but let's just say that.
Let's just say that.
And in the Hubble Deep Field picture that came out, several years back, it has 10,000 plus galaxies in just that picture.
Every speck.
Which if you take your fingers and your index finger and your thumb and you press them together and you make that little square and you press them together to where you can still see light through, and then you hold that up to the sky, that's where that picture came from, right above the cup of the Big Dipper. So when you spread that out across the whole sky, millions and millions and millions and millions and billions and billions of galaxies. So let's just assume that each one of those has one life-bearing planet. Mm-hmm. How the fuck does reincarnation work? I mean, are we trapped here? I mean, is that how that works? You know, because then you got to think about it scientifically. Like, okay, well, maybe our energy when we die, our soul releases, but it's trapped by our atmosphere, which is why we think, oh, we got to look up to the clouds. Our grandmother died. She's watching over us with the rest of the family. From where? Because fucking the Felix jumped out of a capsule from 110,000 feet and didn't pass a single fucking ghost.
Grandmother.
It's
No,
Not
no
even one single
grandmas.
grandmas.
No
they
grandma.
see you. They see you. They look down on you like with the telescopes they have at Lookout Mountain, and they put a quarter in, and they can look down at their family just
they're
for a
not-
limited time
they're
because it
not-
closes on them.
They're
And
not
that
bothering
makes
too
more
much
sense.
then.
That makes more sense than anything else, because once you start to look at the legitimate science of everything, like I used to think, oh, we're definitely reincarnated. Well, there's a bajillion other planets out there, so not likely.
Well, and you know, our ancestors' made decisions about how things were and what things looked like based on what made the most sense to them. So you see all these things in the sky, and what are they? You don't know. So those are our loved ones. They went and they're shining over. I mean, you know, you do the best you can with what you've got. And sometimes how that kind of morphs its way into people's belief systems when really someone made it up because they needed to rationalize whatever was happening.
I completely agree.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of how it came about. Like for me, I always wonder, are humans the only species that go to heaven or hell? What about trees? What about ants? I've annihilated a whole colony of ants before, and I just wonder what happens to them. Do some of them go to ant hell, possibly ant heaven? Or so for me, I just kind of find it
There's
as
some really bad ants.
yeah. I mean,
Well, there could be.
there could have been some killer ants, and after I annihilated them, they were sent to repent in a fireplace, a fire. No, honestly,
And faced
it's a joke.
Ant devil.
Yeah, it's about. There could be a big ant devil, a devil ant.
I've been bit by those before.
I know they exist.
They hurt.
They're
yeah.
mean. No, so I honestly think that just as humans, we're just arrogant enough to create something to kind of appease us for the
We're
period of
needy.
time that we're here.
Well,
We're
but that's
super needy.
that's just it, though. Like coming to this realization, it's like life feels much more empty. You know, knowing that this is
Right.
our only ride on this roller coaster. If that's the case, that's why we create religion, because it's a really emptying thought. So we need to put something out there that
Exactly.
gives ourselves that comfort.
Right.
So
And certainly in times like this, when someone who's important to you dies, you want to keep that connection, to maintain that connection. And so going and believing that they're watching down over us is so lovely.
it really is.
Believing that they're with their loved ones who've already died is so gratifying and so relieving, and
And it sounds good.
sounds great.
It does. It's very comforting. It's
They all
very
get to see
soothing.
their dogs from. I always often wondered what happens. So your husband dies and you remarry, and he dies and you remarry and you die,
And you've
then
had
he
10
dies.
dogs throughout your life.
Do you all
It's gonna
live?
be fucking mess when you get to heaven.
Yeah.
Like,
What happens? Like, who do you live with?
well, you get all 3 husbands. You
What
get
if
all
they don't
10
want
dogs.
you?
Maybe they're not so judgmental. Maybe they
Well-
lose that human judgmentalness, and it's just like, but they're like, fuck, man, we got to
No,
share this.
polygamy
shit
in
now?
heaven. I figured it out. It's
What?
polygamy in
Yeah.
heaven.
Yeah.
Right, and the Mormons believe that shit, or the polygamists, the Utah people. There's got to be a special section in heaven where you can do more people than, But see, that just makes it fun. Then it's like, all right, oh fuck it, I'm going to start my own religion, and but it's not for anybody else, for me to believe in.
Well, and I mean, my belief system is my belief system, and it works for me, and it makes sense to me, and as far as I'm concerned, anyone else can have their belief system. Just don't push it on me.
Exactly.
And you know what? Don't go like, blowing up planes because of your belief system. That's not okay either.
That's never okay.
That's
So that's
never okay.
So to me, coming to this conclusion, it really makes, and like you were saying earlier about you can just draw logical conclusions from each of the stories as to where that probably came from. Like, I've read parts of Dante's Inferno. It's not like you can just sit down and read it like it's a book. It's fucking hard. So playing the game helped really illustrate it, but it really pointed out to the very key element of the story. Really puts it all in place. He lost the love of his life. Now, for any of us that have had that happen at any point, whether you just broke up or the person you cared about the most dumped you or whatever, you know that feeling of loss and that agony. Maybe not even the love of your life, maybe your parents died or your child or something. Somebody close to you died and you feel that agony. All he did was write a very vivid tale, and it seemed to catch on, and it fucking ruined the world for a good millennium so far by people thinking, oh, this is a real place that we're going to go to if I eat meat on Friday and I burp in church, or I don't let the priest molest me or something, or geez. So it's
Right.
and so people are, I don't know.
I mean,
Yeah.
I get it though. I get it, and we're definitely fear-based, as well.
But logic should be taught more, because once you introduce logic into things, it's like,
But some things aren't logical. Like a kid dying at age 15. There is no logic to that.
Well,
and so what
but
you
for
say
every
is
side
there's
of
a
the
divine
spectrum,
plan.
right? But from every side of the spectrum, there's got to be any random amount of possibilities. So if you got this right here, this is the extreme A, this is the extreme B. So you're going to have everything in between. So the kid that dies at 15 counterbalances the person that lived to 75. Why did they live so long? Why did he live so short? It's
And people only care about the person that they're connected to.
Right.
I mean, they're not thinking through this longitudinal, as a global species, what does that look like? They're trying to figure out, why did my 15-year-old, why is that person I mean, they're trying to apply logic, and really it's this, emotional desire, and it's so super easy. I want to believe so much in a higher power, and that higher power isn't so far away. We have so much control over our world if we take it. People can't control your emotions. People can't control. We let them.
We allow them to heavily influence
it, but we don't have to. And that's one of the reasons why I find activism in the cannabis community is so important, because we know that for so long we have allowed the misrepresentation of what this plant does to speak for the plant for years, decades, and that became people's reality. The idea of reefer madness became people's reality. I mean,
which is absolutely absurd.
But factual.
Something in there, because they I mean, that video, it starts, just the gullibility of people to think, oh, you smoke that crazy reefer and you just go out. The irony, of course, is that spice and variant things, I've read stories where it's causing that. Now, whether those are real or not, I don't know. I wasn't there to see the guy smoke a big fat bowl of spice and get up and eat his dog and all that. But me and Jenny did tons of stories. Like, we had 2 stories a week for a good long time of new zombies. And it's insane. And I don't know if they were real or not, but the reefer madness, nobody smokes a joint and gets up and just starts eating their dog or punching their wife like, oh man, I am so high, I'm going to beat the fuck out of my wife.
And the only reason why they would is if they would have before they smoked that joint.
Right. If they were planning on it and they smoked it and they're like, fuck, I still am going to beat the bitch. And they, because people can cross the line to where no amount of drugs will make you forgive,
right,
or help you to forgive somebody for crossing a certain line.
That's right.
But people's lines are different, of course, but.
Well, we're going to take a quick break, if that's okay with you, Ronell. And when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about DUIs.
Yes.
That's not so fun.
No, it's not.
We'll be right back.
Are you a medical marijuana patient or interested in finding out how to become one? Contact Mile High Wellness, where your care is our concern. Conveniently located on Hamden and Tamarack in the Whole Foods parking lot behind Proof of the Pudding. Mile High Wellness offers a wide variety of edibles, hashes, and some of Colorado's top strains. Mile High Wellness, where your care is our concern. 3525 South Tamarack, Suite 110, on the corner of Hamden and Tamarack. 720-382-8516. Mile High Wellness, where your care is our concern.
Are you a runner? Are you a runner who supports marijuana legalization? Run on Grass is a group of athletes actively seeking to change our marijuana laws. We speak the truth about cannabis, bringing the message through our feet to new ears. Check out runongrass.com to find out more about us, our events, and how to join up or how to sponsor a runner. If you're in the Denver area, please join us for runs or start a group in your area. Running not your thing? Any sport can do it. On grass. Runongrass.com.
The law offices of Edson, Maiden, and Matz provide criminal defense, medical marijuana defense, and advice about setting up and running medical marijuana centers, optional premises cultivation operations, and infused product manufacturing businesses throughout Colorado. With offices in Denver and Aspen, we can offer assistance throughout the entire state of Colorado. Give us a call at 303-831-8188. That's 303-831-8188. Or visit us online at warrenedson.com.
And we're back.
And we're back. Hello, hello. You were listening to Happy Monday, the first Monday of June 2015 on iCannabis Radio. June.
I know, it's already June.
Flippin' June.
You know, it would seem a little bit more realistic that it was June if it wasn't cloudy and fucked for all of May. You know, remember that whole April showers brings May flowers thing?
No, I've heard that.
Right.
I didn't mind that. I mean, I really didn't mind the rain. I'm sorry that people got flooded, and certainly there was a little bit of seasonal affective disorder that we're not accustomed to.
If the sunshine would have came out for an hour or two each day, that would have been just that much better. It's only, most of us just need the sunshine for a little bit.
Agreed. I just,
Now that it's 80 and 90 degrees.
Right. I mean, I have never lived in a place where people complain more about the weather. It's too snowy. It's too cold. It warmed up. Everything's melting. It's too hot.
Right.
It's too dry. It's too rainy. I'm like, oh my God, people, chill out.
You know who are people that appreciate the weather here? And I'm speaking from people that I know, not like these people over here, but Sarah and her dad. I will point out two specific people.
Why do you guys appreciate the weather so much?
We never had weather where
Yeah.
I'm from in California, so anytime I even see clouds, I'm like, clouds!
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like that too. In Florida, you have hot and hotter. And you do get some rain. It lasts about 10 minutes, and it's not enough. And so, yeah, I love the seasons. I get so excited. I love the seasons. It's great. And I just, I can't. We know that the rain's not going to last, but people are so impatient.
Ours
really are.
lasted. It would just sit over us for like a couple of days, flood the heck out of everything. By the second day, we're like, can we go outside? We're tired of being inside.
Yeah. Absolutely. I don't know. My yard looks beautiful.
It's green and lush everywhere. I love it. Like, just as warm as it was today, I know that after looking at the weather forecast, the 10-day, and there's a couple little rainy days, those are the days I'm now looking forward to, which most of us will be, because, yay, summer. Go outside. It's 85 degrees and it's sweltering.
And it's dry. Oh my God, where'd all the rain? There's like no rain on the ground anywhere no more. And I don't like
Right.
it.
I mean, we do live in a semi-arid climate. So
Yeah.
we're going to talk a little bit about DUIs, right?
Yes.
Spill it, sister.
How many do you got? 0? You?
0.
You?
0.
So there's 2 of DUIs in this whole room between all of us?
Boone, how many DUIs do you have?
2.
Boone's like, what?
Oh, Boone don't have no DUIs. Yeah, I got mine in 06. Back when.
Back-to-backers.
Back-to-backers, 50
Yeah.
days apart.
Yeah.
So.
It seems to happen for some reason. It's like, pow, in the head, and you didn't get it, so you got to get another pow in the head.
I wasn't even done getting smacked in the head when I got my second DUI.
Yeah. Okay, what do you find? What interesting article did you find for us?
So today on the denverchannel.com, and I'm sure there's plenty more of these, but I'm going to read from this one because it's really short. It is titled, Fourth DUI Will Be Felony Charge in Colorado Under Bill Being Signed into Law Monday. And
That's
this,
today.
most likely, this was from 7:58 this morning.
Not that he was up at 7:58. That's just when they posted the article.
Correct. Habitual DUI offenders will soon face tougher penalties in Colorado. Governor John Hickenlooper plans to sign a bill into law on Monday that would make a fourth DUI a felony, punishable by up to 6 years in prison and a fine of as much as $500,000. The proposal that has repeatedly failed in recent years because of concerns about increased costs to courts and prisons, but lawmakers were able to pass it this session. The bill signing ceremony will be held at a manufacturer of professional breath alcohol testers, LifeLock Technologies, in Wheat Ridge.
Interlock Company. They're gonna broadcast that from the Interlock Company.
Right?
So go ahead.
I don't even know what to say.
Now, for those of you who don't know, we've all been devastated by a drunk driver. I mean, Jeremy's life has changed forever due to drunk driving number 2 for this woman.
Well, 2 or 3, you know?
It was 2.
Was it 2?
It was 2. She didn't have a license when she was driving.
Wasn't her car. There was no insurance. Like, it was like she just nothing. She's just nothing.
So this is your bill. This is aimed at appeasing you.
Well,
that this woman, when she gets out of prison, will face steeper penalties when and if she gets one more and then on her fourth.
Well, see,
for sure.
Here's the kicker. DUI in Colorado is not limited to alcohol only. So when it comes down to getting a marijuana DUI, something that they have no science for yet, they just went with 5 nanogram limit, which the average person that smokes on a daily basis will maintain a 5 nanogram or higher limit for 24 hours plus since the last time they smoked, depending on how heavy they smoke, obviously. That a person could get a pot DUI offense 4 times fairly easily if police just start pulling people over on the daily and saying, well, we're taking everybody's blood. Because on the site, it keeps going.
Denver Channel is our CBS News affiliate website, right?
I believe so. So I shared another
ABC?
link.
ABC.
Because it's Channel 7.
Okay.
This is from DUI.drivinglaws.org/colorado.php. Colorado DUI and DWAI laws. I'm not going to read this whole page because there's a bunch of whatever on here.
lot.
But the very key thing is this question and answer right here. What if you refuse to take a chemical test in Colorado? The answer is Colorado has an implied consent law. That means that if you refuse to submit to a chemical test, you will be subject to a fine and automatic license suspension.
But you will not have a DUI on your record.
There's another one that's even better.
I mean, my issue is, I guess it comes from a treatment place. You know, if you're at your 4th DUI, it really isn't a felony charge or the idea of prison or a $500,000 fine that's your problem. Your problem is that you have an alcohol addiction, and someone needs to step in and intervene and help your life. And clearly, if you got 1, 2, and 3, and those weren't big enough slaps to you, those weren't negative enough consequences that you're at number 4, you've got to get to treatment. And I don't think prison is a very treatment-friendly environment.
It's not. You go there and all you can think about is, fuck, I just want to drink. I want to drink. And you go to those stupid, like, Bible anti-drinking classes there just so you have something to do. I mean, I went to them when I was in county, 5 years ago, just so I had something constructive to do because it's fucking boring in jail. So you're not gonna you're gonna get out and be like, oh, not like I learned something sweet in jail all of a sudden.
Right.
That's the kicker right there, is that they're saying that we don't want to impose felony because that just clogs up the courts and the jails.
But it does. Let's look at this for a second. They're not saying that you have to have hurt somebody. They're not saying that you got in an accident. They're just saying you got your 4th DUI. We're not even talking about someone that committed vehicular homicide. We're just talking about someone who's pulled over 4 times. That to me does clog up the system. So you've got another person who committed this crime who really needs treatment, and we've decided that we're gonna pay for 6 years in prison. I mean, I don't understand. I think DUIs are terrible, and I wish there was a way that the legal system could intervene that was going to stop this or slow it down. But there are no statistics that show that these DUI laws do any of that.
Well, no, exactly. I mean, for, again, that same time when I was in county jail, like I told you earlier, I got moved to a cell with a guy that was on his 10th DUI. I mean, 10. So you don't learn. So it's obviously a system that doesn't work. So, but the same system that is saying, well, we don't want it to clog the system, they're still going to be there. Whether it's a felony or not, they're still going to be in court because they still got pulled over doing something stupid. And the only thing they're saying is we just don't want to put them in jail. But here's the real issue. They're in jail are people that are in there for what is called a non-violent drug offense. That means that somebody got pulled over by the police, stopped by the police, got in trouble, was found in possession of narcotics, and is in jail, and may have been sober when they were found. Maybe they were doing something else. I mean, I don't know what would be a good example.
Well, I mean, you can get a drug possession charge. Doing all kinds of things. It doesn't have to be in your car. You can get arrested for selling. All those kinds of, and to me, those are very victimless crimes.
Right. Well, the selling part, they're losing money. What I don't understand is possession. Like if you're just walking down the street and, say the cop just stops you and harasses you because of what you're wearing, the color of your skin, something like that, and they decide to pat you down because that's just how it works.
And you are dumb enough to say yes.
Right?
Say yes.
And they find a bag of cocaine on you, and all of a sudden now you're going to jail because of something on your person that's not a weapon. It's not like you can just take it out and throw it at somebody and be like, oh, you're fucking high now, and run off. It's not like it's anthrax where you're like, oh, you're going to fucking die now. Ha ha ha.
No, because you can mail anthrax.
Right. So it's not even dangerous to anybody else. Now, if you're high and you're out in public or you're driving or something, that falls into a different category. But simple possession, people are in jail for that. I mean, people are in jail because they had a couple pounds of weed or something, or
a lot of weed.
Or sure, but it's still weed. Like you could go and, I guess if you picked up a brick of it and threw it at a baby, it'd probably hurt. But otherwise, it's not like a firearm, which the Second Amendment allows us to own, or a T-shirt that says, I don't know, police lie. That the First Amendment protects us for wearing. So I don't understand where they're saying it's going to cost us more. I mean, I guess if you make it a felony, there's more paperwork, there's mandatory jail sentences and all that. But if there's already mandatory jail sentences for DUIs, mandatory minimums, I don't understand what the complaint is.
Well, my guess is that people aren't going to jail. And again, this other thing is, I wish that we lived in a society that was less about punishment in all areas and more about support and look at...
But that's compassion. There's no money in compassion.
Portugal seems to have it figured out.
Well...
They do.
They
do.
There's compassion over there. That's not for America. This is a heavily capitalist society.
Well, we have this hierarchical approach to everything, and it doesn't matter where you are in that hierarchy. You want someone to be below you. And you're always looking for that. You're always looking for who is it that I can quickly look at and compare myself to, and I feel better about myself because, oh my gosh, I'm not smoking weed every day sitting on my couch. Oh my gosh, I don't have my third DUI. Oh my gosh, I'm not a janitor. I mean, any of those things, people are always looking at somebody else to feel better about them, and for some reason this seems to translate into how we deal with people who clearly have problems. I mean, when Rebecca was being sentenced for your accident that she caused, I mean, I felt like there was so much emotion in the room, because there was no way that she was going to be able to say anything that was going to undo anything, any of her actions. Obviously, she couldn't turn that back the hands of time, but there was nothing that she was capable of saying that was going to make anyone feel better. And when she apologized, it didn't feel sincere. It felt very self-serving, and I was going to feed off of it. I was waiting to hear her say something that was going to make me feel something for her, and I didn't. So I couldn't be compassionate either. But if I could take a step back, I wanted her to have treatment, and I said that to the court. I felt that the most significant thing that would make us feel better is if she got better.
And the system is just set up to where she got 10 years with the 5 rand concurrent, so that just disappears. And, she'll be out and then in a halfway house and then back to being free. Nowhere in that equation is treatment.
Nowhere.
Jail is not treatment. To a point it is. It restructures you, gets you,
it detoxes
sleeping,
you, I guess, right?
Right. And it has you eating 3 squares a day and whatever, but it's stupid. So I don't know. I think we're all at the same place that whoever this 4th DUI means a felony, no matter what is written for, is appeasing. It's not, because this is the person that I would imagine it was written for. It's written for Jeremy, who was in a life-altering accident where his other half was killed and he was forever marred and emotionally scarred, and he doesn't like it. So who likes it? Right. Who's it benefiting?
What's
its secret purpose?
Yeah.
But it might be to come after marijuana users, because it'll be certainly really easy to fill up the court with. So before we take a break, I found that other paragraph that I wanted to read. Paragraph, 2 sentences, 3 sentences, something like that. The Colorado State, or the State of Colorado Express Consent Law. I reread it earlier. It made me sad. I had to take a moment. This sucks. Colorado's Express Consent Law is similar to laws in other states known as implied consent laws. The Colorado law means that as a driver in the state of Colorado, you automatically agree to take a chemical test of your breath, urine, and blood. So let me reread that sentence. The Colorado law means that as a driver in the state of Colorado, okay, so if you get a driver's license in Colorado, or if you drive on Colorado roads, you automatically agree to take a chemical test of your breath, urine, and blood. So that says so many things. If you refuse to take a chemical test, your driver's license will be revoked for a period of 1 year. And then a little more info here says, in addition, if you refuse a chemical test a second time, your license will be suspended for 2 years, and you will become eligible for an ignition interlock device after 1 year of suspension has passed. A third refusal, and your license will be suspended for 3 years, and you may request a restricted license with an ignition interlock device after a period of 1 year.
Take a quick break. We'll come back and we'll talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, let that soak in for a minute.
Yeah, I mean, ugh.
Automatic.
dispensary owners and growers. In today's world, it helps to be insured. So call Cuffle, Collimore and Company, where we provide medical marijuana insurance for dispensaries and growers. Are you looking for insurance that protects you against property theft? Then give Cuffle, Collimore and Company a call, where we include product liability and professional liability, as well as crop insurance for growers. Remember, find us at mmdispensaryinsurance.com or give us a call at 877-335-1234.
Are you a medical marijuana patient or interested in finding out how to become one? Contact Mile High Wellness, where your care is our concern. Conveniently located on Hamden and Tamarack in the Whole Foods parking lot behind Proof of the Pudding. Mile High Wellness offers a wide variety of edibles, hashes, and some of Colorado's top strains. Mile High Wellness, where your care is our concern. 3525 South Tamarack, Suite 110, on the corner of Hamden and Tamarack. 720-382-8516. Mile High Wellness, where your care is our concern.
Catch a case on the Mondays? iCannabis Radio has you covered. Happy Mondays with Georgia and Jeremy is back now.
Are you a runner? Are you a runner who supports marijuana legalization?
Doubled up.
Run on Grass is a group of athletes actively seeking to change our marijuana laws.
Are they going
We
again?
speak the truth about cannabis, bringing the message through our feet to new ears. Check out runongrass.com to find out more about us,
I've
our
been
event.
since I'm feeling better.
There we go. I found it. Sorry about that.
Hi, welcome back. Just saying, the Run on Grass made me think about the fact that since I'm feeling so much better and everything is kind of back to the way it's supposed to be in my body, that it's great to go out, and I appreciate so much going on runs and not throwing up, and it's great.
So you did not run in the Boulder last Monday, right?
I did not. I have not raced this year.
No, but you still are doing your everyday running?
Every day.
Like, I'm working on my everyday walking. So
What are you on, like 170 or
I'm
something?
at 151. Started on January 1st, and this is 151.
Nice.
Yep. Another 5th month in the book. Yeah. With running yesterday. 5 mile. It was hot yesterday too. It was hot.
But
It was hot.
it's hot today too. It's
Yeah.
it's lovely.
It's lovely. We were talking about kind of the frustration around I mean, specifically DUI law. I mean, but Jeremy is also insinuating that kind of drug law in general is these punishments are so misguided and so confusing and don't
Clearly
show
not
work.
justified when you see things like this, especially when they word things like that, and it's like it just doesn't make sense. I mean, one, when they lead the brigade on the war on drugs and say that marijuana is bad, and they give you all these reasons, and right away you know that at least a couple of them are bullshit, and then you do some research and a few more of them are bullshit, and then you keep researching and nothing they're saying is true on that. Why would anything else they say be true as far as cocaine or heroin or meth or crack or any of that crap? And
I still believe in my emotional brain, the whole, if you do heroin one time, you will be addicted. You will be a heroin addict if you do it one time.
it seems believable to me. I'm not willing to press that and ever find out.
I mean, I'm not either, but you know what? There are a lot of people that have done heroin that are not junkies living in an abandoned building right now. Not that I want to go try it. It's not my thing. I mean, I don't really have a thing. But really, is that what we have to say to people? Is that what we are scaring people
Well, you
with?
got to lie to them, yeah.
Right.
Because moderation is the key for damn near anything. I'm not saying that you could probably sit down and have a moderate amount of crystal meth and just have, just having a moderate 3 to 4 day bender here, or I only did it for 2 hours on the first day, but it kept me up for the next 3 days. But, that might be one of those where you might want to consider just not.
Well, and how about
Adderall or something,
You're
but-
right about that, and we're kind of joking, but kind of not. But the other thing for me is, if you notice that you have that personality that tends to be gung ho and all in all the time about everything,
Maybe stay away from crack and heroin and
and
things.
Maybe stay away from a lot of
A lot of that.
Yeah.
Because
But that's not how we approach it. We kind of feel like, so I'm on this medicine and I can't drink, which is fine because I hang out with a lot of people who aren't really drinkers. But it's interesting that I still get a little bit of the, are you sure? Are you sure you don't want a cocktail? Are you sure? Are you sure? Really? Because it's not that they're being polite. It's that well, it's weird. It's weird.
It's adult peer pressure.
And why? And why is that? Why is it that?
Because people don't want to drink by themselves. We're like, I won't say weird because I don't drink that often anyway. But I mean, like the people who I typically drink with, they'll drink by themselves, but they're not really looking to do it. So I'll for me, I have a preference, so they know what I like to drink. So they'll be like, "Hey, I got what you like to drink. You want to drink?" I go, "Nah." They're like, "Why?" It's just not one of them days.
Right.
And so, but some people, like, I remember there was a phase where we were go to a restaurant, and we would subconsciously order a drink. Like, they'd be like, "What do you want to drink?" "Oh, a Captain and Coke." I don't even want a Captain and Coke.
It's just what you did.
But it was just, I was between 23 and 25. I was just programmed to order a drink every time they asked for one.
Yep.
And then once I kind of got out of that phase, it just kind of made it easier just to, I'm not drinking this week, or I'm not drinking today, or,
right.
It felt better as an adult to be able to have that thing. But then there's people who still drink and want you to drink with them.
And again, there's two different kinds of approaches to it. There's the, hey, I want you to have fun with me and I want to have fun with you and here's what we're doing and that's great. And then there's the, wow, I feel uncomfortable because you're not drinking and what does that say about me? And if you're feeling like that, you probably have a problem. You probably have a problem.
But again, that comes back down to that true logic. Like, just start to break things down and analyze that.
My Patron drinking friend this weekend didn't even offer me a shot.
Say what?
Well, I think he was hoarding the bottle of Patron. However, typically, he just didn't. It was just, he knew I wasn't drinking, so he didn't even have that conversation with me.
Yeah, see, I'm probably one of those peer pressurers. Like, man, I know you want one of these. Stop it. Don't act like that.
But if you knew someone was like, you would do it with your friends playfully. That's to me, that's different. But
No, I'm the worst. I have a friend who's an alcoholic, and I'd still be like, I know you want one. No? Okay.
You're an ass. You're an ass.
Honestly though, it is more like playfully out of like joking, but like where if you can deal with your best friends and the people closest to you, if you can tell me no, then the rest of the world should be easy.
That's right.
Like one of my best, Pancho, for example, he's a bartender. Everywhere there's a bottle, he'll start turning it into the bartender, and just after a while,
He's so cute, that
I
Pancho.
got old enough. I just got like to the point where I can just be like, nah, just not doing it. And so then I'll be hanging out with some girls, and they'll be like, take a shot. I'm like, my best friend tries to get me to drink every day, sweetie. I can tell you no, look you in the face, and go hit my weed.
That's the other thing that is nice. So many of our friends aren't drinkers, which I'm not saying that drinking is bad. I'm not. But it's nice to spend time with people who are smoking instead. And over the course of the evening, there is no time when people are like belligerent or even not even negative, but like drunk, and you don't know if they're going to hear that conversation the same way the next day when they're sober. You don't have to worry about it when someone's just smoking all night.
Right. Most of the time it's going to be, hey, who's got $5 to kick in? I'm going to order fucking pizza.
Yeah.
I miss those days.
Right.
Now it's like, Ronell, order a pizza. We know you got it.
Right, exactly. So I think it's really important to educate yourself on what these drug laws look like, because I don't know that there are that many intelligent people who think that they should throw people in jail because they're an alcoholic. I think we can be violently angry at the woman that killed Jenny. Absolutely violently angry. And still, at the end of the day, everyone would be so relieved if we knew she was getting legitimate treatment.
Right. But is there such thing as legitimate treatment?
I believe that there is. I've worked in inpatient treatment. I firmly believe in a 12-step program. You don't have to believe in a Christian God to be able to work a 12-step program. You get a ton of support. Is Is it the greatest for everyone? No. But there are great treatment modalities. And you know what? You know what the unfortunate thing is? I mean, alcohol is really, I mean, you can die from alcohol withdrawal. You can die. You don't really die from heroin withdrawal. It's ugly, but you don't really feel like you want to die, and your skin's going to crawl out, and you've got bugs under your skin. But your body can shut down. You can die if you withdraw from alcohol without being under medical care.
You know, it would have
That
been
shit's dangerous.
It would have been so much more satisfying had it been a 10-year sentence in a treatment facility. Like, that wouldn't have been so heartbreaking. Like, 10 years in jail. So if we're going to treat it as a criminal act, she did so maliciously and got into the car drunk and drove the wrong way, passed several cars, didn't figure out that she was in the wrong lane, and killed somebody, and she only got 10 years. So if we're going to go totally criminal act, but they don't do that. They're like, well, she was drunk. She didn't mean to. It's not like it was murder or anything. So 10 years.
Yes, it was.
But it was.
But it was.
But it was, you know. And
I mean, I'm not gonna say I can't. I'm not. The situation sucks. But there is a difference. The menace res. That's where your mind state is when you kill somebody. She didn't jump in the car to kill somebody.
No, you're absolutely
you know
right.
what I'm saying? So
Yep.
murdered. I mean, murder. My father got murdered. Big
Right,
difference.
and that's huge difference.
Than her getting hit by a car by somebody who was just a fucking idiot. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But like
Right.
murder is where your mind is if you want to kill somebody.
That's right.
And so that's where I disagree with that. It's not murder. I mean, homicide could be whatever they use. Manslaughter could be whatever. But murder is, you know what I'm saying? She was like, I'm going to kill these two motherfuckers with this car. That would be a game changer. There is no treatment for that.
That's right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
And that's your point is so well taken that really what it's about is that this person had such a problem with alcohol and was so blind drunk out of her mind, and not for the first time, that she got into a car, used it as a weapon, and ended up going head to head with your car. And so there was no. She never thought of it. She didn't say, I know Jenny and Jeremy, or I know.
But it doesn't
that-
have
Or I
to be
want to
a-
just go kill two random people.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I mean, I understand
But
that-
maybe she got in the car knowing, because when you drive intoxicated, you know that you could be putting other people's lives in danger. Now, she probably didn't get in and say, I'm going to go fucking kill somebody.
But I don't think.
But she could have been really mad at all the people that were coming
I think-
down on her.
I'm
you're-
sorry. Let me stop. I agree with what you're saying, but you think that when you're sober. Do you know what I'm
Right.
saying? When you're sober and you think about like, oh shit, if we get drunk and we drive, you know, we could possibly kill somebody. Let's order a taxi. But when you're drunk and there's a car right there and some keys, you don't go, the possibilities of killing somebody are high here. Let me rethink this. No, like motherfucker, I'm going home. And I mean, it sucks. The situation sucks ass, but that murder thing is just one of those. It's largely. I mean, just it's just really, really, I think, inappropriate to say that she tried to murder you guys. I'm not gonna say that she did try to kill you in the sense of, but I don't think her menace res wasn't there to end two people's lives.
She
or
didn't have the
somebody's life.
capacity. She didn't have the capacity at all, which again is part of the problem. Which gets back to, here's a woman that has a history of problems
Alcoholic
with alcohol.
views.
I mean,
Okay.
she had been kicked. We know these things because they were brought out in court. That she'd been kicked out of bars before.
Was she kicked out of a bar that particular evening, or
she
I
was.
think she was.
or she
kicked
just had
out
a
that
history
one,
of
or-
doing that?
I think she was kicked
I
out of
think-
that one too.
I think she was kicked out of that one, and she made a scene of some sort. She was upset about something stupid in her life that's so insignificant now, and
But see, I don't remember because she may have not. I know she made a scene, but I don't know if she was kicked out because I think she had been there many times.
but I feel like she was kicked out that night.
Like the scene she had made is probably so routine to them. They're
That
like,
and
it's
she
just
might have
time
been
for her
let
to go
back
home.
in.
Okay. Okay.
Is how I think that went. Because you're right. I think she was kicked out, but I think she went back in and they didn't kick her back out.
And so
Because-
she
yeah, I don't
she
know.
has this history. She has this history at that bar. She has this history, and again, if there had been any intervention for her, then we would be in a different place today. And and maybe not even. I mean, it's really hard to go up to someone and be like, "Dude, you have a problem. You have a problem, and here's what it looks like." Because there's something about that addiction personality that says, ooh, defense mechanism, that feels bad.
Right.
I'm blocking that out. That's not happening.
Well, then you get the line of who the fuck are you to judge me?
And who are you to judge me?
Right. Which that.
I'm the sober one.
Right. So, well, no, I'm the observer, motherfucker.
When I worked in an inpatient treatment, one of the things about particularly 12-step programs is the idea is you go back and you help others. You show them that you worked these 12 steps and you get to the place where you can then be a support to other people. And so I got asked all the time, so are you in recovery? And I'm not. And I don't have that issue. And so people would say, I don't have to listen to you. Why should I listen to you? You have no idea what I'm going through. And a patient said, well, gosh, your way didn't work. Maybe you should try her way. And it was the perfect response. I'm not the one in treatment. You are. And if you want to continue doing things the way you've always done them, you're going to end up in this situation or worse.
Routinely, all the time, back to back to back. It's not going to get any better if you keep playing the rules that you've set up.
Right.
And no, I mean, I've seen it. Like the alcohol thing is a big part of it. I've had to use that in my life, kind of with like finances and just being like, just being young and dumb. You would do something and you would get similar results, and you would like, wait a minute, how come this keeps happening to me? Well, you didn't change anything.
Right.
You went out there and performed the same way, you did the same shit, you were with the same people, and then when you got the same results, you go,
life's not fair.
That's not right.
Oh,
that's what you put in. It's the recipe. You
It's
put
the
in
recipe.
you put in a little bit of bullshit, you heat it up, you put a lighter to it, you get a heaping pile of bullshit.
Right.
Just on fire now.
Right.
And it happens routinely, and and that's people who are addicted, they keep doing that. They keep going back where it's like, let me hit it. Let me do this. I'm just going to finish this weekend. I'm good. And on Monday, they're like, well, my life still sucks. So let's just hit it again one more time,
right?
And it just perpetually turns into 10 years of addiction.
I have a friend who his way of dealing with his alcohol problem was, I'm just not going to drink during the week. I mean, it makes perfect sense. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, those are my days. Get my job done. Those are my days. And everyone's like, it's fantastic. It's brilliant.
But he's a piece of shit Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yep. And so we just sort of have an obligation, I feel like, to one another. If you see your friend continuously doing those dumb things and you don't say something to her, you've made a mistake. You've done her a disservice.
But that's the breakdown of the community. Like when the community is Denver community, really? That's fucking huge.
Right.
I mean, it's nothing in comparison to places like San Francisco or LA or something like that. But, all these towns, nobody cares anymore. There's no community. I mean, we gather towards these center areas, where here, let's all live near here so we can all work here, and it's like we're like ant colonies, where everyone's got to be near the main ordeal. It's insane. The whole way society, everything's set up. It's far too much to talk about this show.
Well, I mean, this all gets back that we kind of went off on this tangent because this idea of making this kind of strange number of 4 DUIs.
The problem is it's going to backfire in the pot community. I'm sure, that we're going to have somebody that's driven a patient or multiple patients in jail on their 4th DUI because they keep getting busted for marijuana. Now, I mean, of course, we got to ask why they're getting pulled over in the first place.
That would be my question as well. I mean, that's something that needs to get figured out, for sure. But I think that this law was written to appease someone. I didn't personally know until this whole thing with you guys that there wasn't a felony DUI.
Right.
I didn't know that wasn't a thing. I kind of thought that if you did that bad behavior enough times that it would be. But, thinking about it, I don't know what enough times is. I mean, I hear you tell this story about this guy with his 10th DUI, and that sounds ridiculous to me. But, I mean, again, I'm so caught up in the treatment mindset. I'm like, well, the first 9 punishments didn't work.
Right.
The
So-
10th one's not going to either. It's not. I mean, I'm not being negative. I'm a super positive person. It's not going to work.
Well, it's the fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me 10 times, I'm a fucking dummy.
And so are you for letting me continue to do this.
Right. So it's ridiculous. But that's the kicker too. Again, is they're, I don't know. I know that it doesn't make it better because the fact if it's a misdemeanor, a felony, they don't give a shit. It's a disease. It's alcoholism. But if we blame it on that and it takes it away from the person again, then it's not my fault. It's the disease's fault.
Okay, it still happened, and you still need to do something about it. I also don't think we're equipped necessarily to sentence people to treatment facilities. I mean, there isn't. I mean, there are a handful of places that people can go, especially if you don't have money and those kinds of things. But there's no infrastructure for handling all of that.
Perhaps if we built less prisons and built more treatment facilities and
Wow.
hired more doctors and more staff and all this. I mean, imagine if we had a surplus of medical practitioners in this country as opposed to a surplus of law enforcement technicians, if you will, because as far as guards to all these jackasses that have to staff all these private prisons instead could
Yeah.
be filled.
I can tell you why they don't do that. Because it doesn't generate revenue.
That's exactly
Exactly.
right. Well, and there are people,
That's
there are
not a
prison
capitalist
guards
way.
and law enforcement that I am so thankful for. And I want them putting their skills to good use. And if you're a prison guard and you are guarding someone on their 10th DUI, isn't that a different approach than guarding someone who has killed somebody or raped somebody or stolen something or, I mean, aren't your approaches a little bit different? I mean, maybe not. Maybe you pile it all on to everybody exactly the same. But man, I mean, I feel like these guards are trained, and let's take away the people who have these victimless crimes and clearly are guarding someone on their 10th DUI. Clearly have disease issues
approach
than guarding someone who has killed somebody or raped somebody or compare them
Put on your
to people
headphones.
something or who have.
Hold on. Okay, Jake, you were talking twice. Somehow it was playing back.
The website. I pulled up
Oh.
that's why.
Gotcha. Thank you. So, I mean, I'd really rather have prison guards and so forth to, doing what they do best, which is guarding dangerous people and not having to worry about the person who is in there because they really need treatment because, gosh, their mental health is out of control. And I mean, let's figure that out. We'll do that this week. We'll figure that out this week.
Shit, okay. We'll be on it. What time is it? Oh, we got to get started now.
Oh, that's okay. I have nothing better to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Me too. Although, all joking aside, it would be sweet if somebody would take that task on. So if you want to, and you do, please just report your findings to us here at iCannabis Radio. That would be fantastic.
Yeah, show us what compassion can do. Show us what compassion can do.
Yeah. So
Next week,
we'll do a happier show.
I make no guarantee, actually.
Well, hopefully.
I mean, it is Happy Mondays, and we are happy. The topics aren't always happy.
Right. This one, yeah.
Sorry.
So, yeah, we'll see how it goes next week.
All right. Good night.
Good nights. Thank you for joining us.
I have to pee so bad.